Have Bayern Munich taken a step closer to appointing Xabi Alonso as their new manager at the end of the season? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yesterday's video going to center around this man right here, Xabi Alonso, winning over a lot of plaudits and getting a lot of praise for his work at Bayer Leverkusen this season. Could be on the verge of a major and historic season at Bayer Leverkusen, but there is a little bit of a cloud hanging over Alonso, and that is in terms of speculation. There's a whirlwind surrounding Xabi Alonso in terms of his speculation as to where he may be managing next season. The likes of Bayern Munich and Liverpool seem to be in a bit of a tug of war over him, if you believe certain outlets. Liverpool are doing everything seemingly they can to maybe make Xabi Alonso their next permanent manager after Jurgen Klopp leaves at the end of this season as well. Whilst Bayern Munich are also taking steps to maybe secure Xabi Alonso's position as the Bayern manager for when Thomas Tuchel exits the club at the end of the season. Well, according to certain outlets yesterday, it seems that Bayern Munich have taken the march over Liverpool, have taken a step closer to maybe making that appointment a permanent one and securing that one and cementing that one for the following season. We're going to be talking about Alonso, we're going to be talking about Bayern Munich, Liverpool and everything else in between. Again, just because I like this topic really. I'm hoping obviously it has a happy ending for Liverpool and that Xabi Alonso does come to the Reds, but obviously only time will tell on that one. But before we get any further on doing all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And also I encourage you to get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. So please do get involved in that one. It'll make for great and interesting reading, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say on all of this topic. But without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's talk Xabi Alonso. Let's talk Liverpool. Let's talk Bayern Munich. Look, first and foremost, let me say there is a lot of German outlets that are suggesting that Bayern Munich are taking steps in the right direction to be the heavy favourites, should we say, in the race to secure Xabi Alonso as their new manager for the end of the season. Obviously, he'll be then Thomas Tuchel's successor. But yesterday was interesting because Jason Burt of the Telegraph reported that Bayern Munich are now growing in confidence that they have the advantage in the race for Xabi Alonso, should he decide to leave Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season, of course. It's interesting, this one. It's very intriguing. It is a very interesting battle that we've got on our hands here between Liverpool and Bayern, two clubs that obviously Xabi Alonso knows very, very well from his playing days, having played at both and is a kind of a legend at both clubs. I personally have been more on the De Zerbi train than the Alonso train, I will admit. But I did say in my last video that I was starting to come around more to the idea of Xabi Alonso, even more so than what I was. I was still happy with Alonso to become manager if that was what Liverpool were going to go in that direction. I just felt his maybe youth and inexperience may be a bit too premature, shall we say, for this kind of leap and jump to Liverpool. However, I did say in my last video that I think it's a gamble worth taking with the way that he carries himself, with the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he plays out on the pitch, or sets his team to play out on the pitch, should I say, the way he adapts, the way he is flexible. I see no reason to believe that this guy can't take Liverpool forward, because although, like I say, maybe there is an inexperience factor there is a lot of potential with this Liverpool setup as it is right now. Him coming in and making it, evolving it. The foundations have already been laid by Jurgen Klopp. Alonso could definitely come in, use that foundations, but just sprinkle his own little bit of stardust in there. Maybe use the transfer window, maybe use certain players from the academy just to, just to elevate it to his standards a little bit, just to elevate it even more and make it in his own image a little bit more. So I do think there is a lot there for Xabi Alonso to work with, and I do think that personally I am more on the Alonso train. Of course, he's not the only one that Liverpool are looking at. There is Amorim of Sporting. I've started to pay more attention to that kind of league and that kind of club since obviously hearing his name, just in case we obviously miss out on Alonso. But personally, for me, I am still Alonso. But again, I wouldn't be surprised or wouldn't be completely against Amorim considering what I've seen of him recently. But he is a very far second or third in the current ranking for me. Although, like I said, I do see what he's doing at Sporting, and it is actually pretty good. So, but this is about Alonso. This is about Liverpool Bayern. What I will say on the matter is, I am now pro Alonso completely. I am not necessarily worried about the current press, media outlets reporting on the news of Alonso joining Bayern Munich. Liverpool tend to do their business pretty quietly behind closed doors. I'm not necessarily too worried as of right now in regards to that aspect because, like I say, Liverpool do their business behind closed doors. And although a lot is going to change at Liverpool, of course, because, you know, if Alonso does come in, whilst on the pitch, it will be the foundations will be laid and everything will look good for the present and for the future. Backroom staff wise, coaches wise, infrastructure wise, it'll probably be starting from scratch again. We're still trying to appoint a new sporting director, or if you believe certain other people, we're trying to reappoint an old sporting director, Michael Edwards. So it depends on whether or not he will want to come into an infrastructure that's already there in Bayern Munich, pretty much, or whether or not he will have to go to an infrastructure that is rebuilding again and will have to be rebuilt properly again in terms of that aspect. But I've got no worries in terms of that. Liverpool do their business behind closed doors. They very rarely leak anything, and if they do leak stuff, they normally leak scraps until they have concrete cement evidence that there is truth behind certain whispers and rumours and stories and things. So I've got no worries in terms of that aspect right now. Maybe later on down the line, if obviously things are still quiet with Liverpool and things are seemingly moving very noisily with Bayern Munich, that's when I may start to have a little bit of a panic. But as of right now, I've got no worries with the way that Liverpool do their business. Also, what I will say is that when it comes to foreign teams, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, there is a lot of noise that is obviously pro their football club. Bayern Munich's no exception to that. You'll know that if you're a Liverpool fan, Manchester United fan, Arsenal fan, any kind of fan of any English club in particular, you'll know that the foreign press has a very strong, passionate relationship with their own football clubs. And you'll know that if you've ever done business, transfer business mainly, of course, with any of those clubs, you'll know that the foreign press is particularly pro their own club. So you know that they're going to paint their club in the best possible light. You know that they're going to paint their club as to having a major advantage over the English club. You know that they're going to paint their club as to having the bigger say, the bigger pull. Whatever the case may be, the foreign club is always going to come out in the best possible light and is always going to be considered to be the front runners, the pole position team to obtain whatever it is they were trying to obtain. So I've got no issue in terms of what is being said right now. I've got no issue in terms of the foreign press, the English press, whatever it may be. And in my personal opinion anyway, Alonso coming to Liverpool is so much better than him going to Bayern Munich. I said it before in a previous video, but I will go over all ground on this. For me, Alonso will have more room for error at Liverpool. I'm not saying error is a good thing, but I'm just saying, like, with the guidelines being so tight at teams like Bayern Munich, where you have to win the Bundesliga. That's why Thomas Tuchel's failing. Thomas Tuchel is failing right now, mainly because of Thomas Tuchel, obviously. But he's failing right now, and he's going to be, and that's why he's leaving at most the end of the season, because he's not winning the Bundesliga right now. Now, if Alonso was to go on and bottle this 10-point gap that Leverkusen have over Bayern, that would be incredible to say the least. But I still don't think it would keep Tuchel in the job, because he'd be considered fortunate. And rather than be seen as Bayern win the Bundesliga title this season, it will be considered as Bayer Leverkusen bottle the title this season. And from the 10-point gap, it is a bottle job. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Alonso doesn't seem to be slowing down. Leverkusen don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. They seem to be going from strength to strength with each passing game. And, you know, what could be a monumental and historic season for Leverkusen could very well be on the cards come, obviously, the end of the campaign. So it would be incredible. It would be genuinely incredible if Leverkusen were to bottle it. I don't personally see it happening. But like I say, the reason why Tuchel is being sacked at the end of the season is because, or leaving at the end of the season, is because the guidelines are so minimal for failure. But at Liverpool, if Liverpool were to come second, we'd be like, you know what? We'll go again next season. It's fine. We had a good run. We had a good title race. We'll go again next season. There was a bit more room for error there. There is also the history factor. There's also the fan favourite factor. Feel like he was more of a club legend at Liverpool, even though he didn't really, even though he wasn't like there completely long or anything. Like, there is obviously a club legend factor with obviously his heroics in Istanbul in the 2005 Champions League, and obviously going on to win the FA Cup and things. There is a lot more affiliation and a lot more love from the Liverpool fan base, I believe personally, than the Bayern Munich one. And also, I just believe that he'd have more power as well. I think he'd have more power at Liverpool than he would have at Bayern. He'd have a lot more say in how the club is run and club matters and things. And I just think it would be a perfect fit. And also, what more would there be to prove in the Bundesliga if he goes on and wins the Bundesliga title this season with Bayer Leverkusen? What more would he have to prove in that league? He is broken. If Leverkusen go on to beat Bayern Munich to the Bundesliga title, which is entirely possible, and with a 10-point gap, you wouldn't obviously bet against them right now. If Leverkusen were to win that Bundesliga title this season, he would not only win the first Bundesliga title for Leverkusen in their history, because Bundesliga fans call Leverkusen Neverkusen because they've never won the Bundesliga before. He would not only have won that competition for Bayer Leverkusen, and then there is the possibility of him adding a German domestic cup and a Europa League title to their collection as well for the end of the campaign, which would be absolutely historic and phenomenal to say the least. But as well as that, if he goes on to win that Bundesliga title against Bayern Munich, breaking that Bayern dominance that league has been having a stranglehold, that club has had a stranglehold on that league for over 10 years. What more would he have to prove? What would going to Bayern Munich prove in terms domestically? He'd only be going there for a shot or a better shot at winning the Champions League. That's the only thing that Bayern would at that point in time have over Leverkusen. A better shot at the Champions League, in my opinion. Just given in terms of their history of that competition, and given in terms of, you know, them as a team, the resources they have, whatever the case may be, like, that's the only thing that they will have. You go to a team like Liverpool, you're going to a much more competitive league. You're going to a league where you can really test yourself and test your mettle in terms of obviously facing teams like Manchester City, like Arsenal, like Man United, Aston Villa, Tottenham. Those are the teams you want to test your mettle against. Not a Bayern Munich side who you will then be joining to reclaim their throne. It won't add as much as what it would if he was to go to Liverpool and win a Premier League title there, in my opinion. Especially because he would have broken that stronghold with a Leverkusen team that nobody pretty much predicted to win the Bundesliga this season. So, as incredible as it would be, he would have no business there. He'd have no business there to conquer. He would already have conquered it, and it would mean more because of the stranglehold that Bayern Munich have had over that league for the past 12 to 13 years. Simple as that, in my opinion. Simple as that. So, I'm all for Alonso coming to Liverpool. I really hope there is stuff going on behind the scenes at Liverpool, and obviously stuff going on in the background and under that's being kept under close wraps as to work going into this Xabi Alonso thing. I'm really hoping that obviously he does come to Anfield at the end of the season and becomes Jurgen Klopp's successor. But of course, we've got to keep an eye on these reports and we've got to keep an eye on these things. But these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this whole Xabi Alonso situation? Will he be going? Oh, by the way, can I just say as well, the only team that I think Alonso could choose over Liverpool is Real Madrid, by the way. That's the only team that I think has the bigger pull and the bigger prospect of stealing Alonso from Liverpool. But, obviously, Carlo Ancelotti's still there. He signed a new deal and everything. So, it doesn't seem likely that Ancelotti may be leaving anytime soon. So, it may be a little bit later on down the line that Real Madrid may come calling for Alonso. Should, obviously, he live up to the potential and the hype that he's showing. But, yeah. That's the only team that I see him having a genuine and proper reason for choosing over Liverpool, in all honesty. Not Bayern Munich, not Chelsea, not anybody else, but Real Madrid. That's the only team I see having a bigger pull than Liverpool as of right now, considering the situation that Real Madrid are in, and obviously, again, a former club of his, whatever the case may be. That's the only team that I see having a bigger pull. I don't see it happening right now, because obviously they've still got Ancelotti and everything, but if obviously things were to go the way where Ancelotti decides to step down for whatever reason, yeah, then I would genuinely be worried. I'm not necessarily worried by Bayern Munich right now. I think it'd be stupid of Alonso to stay in the Bundesliga and stay in Germany. But obviously stranger things have happened. So we'll see obviously how this one plays out. But like I say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this whole Xabi Alonso situation? Do you see it being a tug of war between Bayern Munich and Liverpool? And if so, which way do you think that tug of war will end up? Could he even stay at Leverkusen? That's not really a discussion that I talked about in this. But again, that could be an element here that we have not really considered. Maybe he stays at Leverkusen another season or two to really master his craft. Or do you think someone else is waiting in the wings to pounce? Maybe like a Real Madrid, for example. Maybe he stays at Leverkusen to wait and prepare for that Real Madrid job. Who knows what the future holds? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it down below, because I'm sure it'll make it interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.